Welcome back to the deep dive. It is January 19th, 2026, and if you have been anywhere near a screen in the last, 48 hours, the ground just shifted beneath our
To
feet.
put it mildly, I mean, this isn't just a ripple, it's a seismic event.
We're talking, of course, about the
Right.
the collision, and I do think that's the right word, collision
Oh, absolutely.
of the Walt Disney Company and OpenAI.
It is the headline of the year, easily. I mean, maybe the decade.
It's a reported $1 billion deal. And on the surface, if you just scroll past the headlines, it sounds like pure fun. The hook is basically you can now use OpenAI's Sora to make a video of yourself having a lightsaber duel.
Right. That's the candy. That's what grabs you.
And we are going to talk about that because, let's be honest, I want to make that video. I absolutely want to see myself wielding a lightsaber. But our mission for this deep dive is to look at the machinery behind the lightsabers. Because we've pulled a massive stack of sources for this. We're looking at reporting from the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, Mashable, UC Today, and some very, very angry threads from the Writers Guild.
And when you synthesize all of that, you realize this isn't just about fun videos.
No, it feels much heavier.
It is. This is a fundamental restructuring of how Hollywood works. It's Disney pivoting from being this traditional media giant to what analysts are now calling a tech-forward data holding company.
Tech-forward data holding company. Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, isn't it?
And it sounds a lot less magical than, the Magic Kingdom.
It does. And on the other side of the table, it's about OpenAI desperately trying to solve an existential crisis that the industry is calling the slop problem.
I love that term, slop. Okay,
Yes.
we are definitely going to unpack that. But let's start with the shiny object. Let's start with what Mashable is calling magic on demand. So what is the actual consumer experience here? Because they're promising us the keys to the kingdom.
So, yes, stripped of all the corporate speak, here's what's happening. Disney is integrating OpenAI's Sora, that's their high-end text-to-video generator, directly into their ecosystem. And they are unlocking the vault.
How big of a vault are we talking? Is this just like generic Mickey or...
No, it's huge. The sources are indicating access to over 200 specific characters. We're not just talking about generic princes. We're talking Mickey, Minnie, Elsa, Simba. We're talking the heavy hitters from Marvel Iron Man, Black Panther, and of course the Star Wars universe. Yoda is in there.
So, practically speaking, I'm a dad. My kid loves Toy Story. I can go into this tool and just say, make a video of Buzz Lightyear wishing my son a happy birthday.
Exactly. You type the prompt, the AI references the official Disney models, which is key. These aren't knockoffs. These are the real assets.
Yeah.
And it generates a high-definition video for you.
That is... Well, it's going to be incredibly popular. But is this just for me to text to my family? Or is there a bigger platform play here?
Oh, there is a massive platform play. Disney doesn't just want you making these things. They want you watching them. A key part of the integration is that curated, high-quality user-generated videos are actually going to be streamed on Disney Plus Lite.
Wait, on the actual streaming service, like alongside the movies?
Yes. They're trying to solve a very specific problem, which is that young people spend way more time on TikTok than on Disney Plus Lite. So Disney needs that engagement back. They want to turn Disney Plus into a kind of social feed where you aren't just watching a movie, you're watching what other fans made with the characters.
That makes a lot of sense from an engagement standpoint. But
Okay.
this is where my brain starts to itch a little bit. Because we all know how the internet works. You give people a tool to make videos with Mickey Mouse.
And 5 minutes later, Mickey is doing something terrible.
Exactly. The time to corruption metric. Right. Disney is the most protective brand on earth. How do they possibly handle that risk?
This is where the Wall Street Journal reporting was really fascinating. The guardrails they've built are basically military grade.
Yeah.
They were not leaving anything to chance.
Okay, give me the list. What can't I do?
First off, and this is the big one, no voices and no likenesses of the actors.
Wait, explain that. I can make a Han Solo video, but...
You can use a character that looks like Han Solo, maybe a stylized animation or CGI model, but it cannot look exactly like Harrison Ford, and it absolutely cannot sound like him.
Because Harrison Ford did not sign up for this.
Precisely. The deal explicitly excludes actor likenesses and voices. If they allowed you to use his voice to sell car insurance in a user video or make him say something political, the lawsuits would be instantaneous. The unions would shut it all down.
Okay, so no deepfakes of real people. That makes sense. What about behavior?
Strict trust and safety protocols. So, no drugs, no alcohol, no sex, obviously. But also, no interactions with non-Disney properties.
So I can't have Mickey fighting Superman.
No. Superman is Warner Bros.
Hmm.
The AI will just block that prompt immediately, and they have what they call a joint steering committee set up to monitor brand integrity.
Hmm.
Essentially, if Mickey acts un-Mickey-like, the system kills the video before you even see it.
That sounds incredibly complex to moderate at scale.
It is, but the tech is there. And
Yeah.
according to the timeline, we're going to see this in early 2026, and since it's mid-January.
Any day now. Okay, so that's the consumer side. We get to play with the toys in a very padded room.
A very expensive padded room.
Right. And that brings us to the money, because when I was reading through the Bloomberg breakdown of this deal, I had to reread it like 3 times.
It's counterintuitive, isn't it?
Completely. Usually if I want to use Mickey Mouse, I pay Disney. If Lego wants to make Star Wars sets, they pay Disney a licensing fee. Cash.
Correct. That's the standard model.
But in this deal, Disney is paying OpenAI. That seems completely backwards. Why is the owner of the IP paying the vendor?
This is the most brilliant and maybe the most misunderstood part of the whole deal. You have to look at the financial architecture. Disney isn't paying a fee for service. They are investing $1 billion into OpenAI.
Okay, but OpenAI is valued at $500 billion. $1 billion is a lot, but it's not owning the company.
No, but here's the trick. Instead of asking OpenAI for cash for the characters, Disney is taking stock warrants.
Okay, break that down for us. I'm not a hedge fund manager. What's a warrant in this context?
Think of a warrant like a reserve ticket. It gives Disney the right to buy more equity in OpenAI later, but at a set price.
Okay.
So let's say the price is set at today's value. If OpenAI's technology becomes the standard for the entire world, if the value of the company, say, doubles or triples in the next 5 years, Disney gets to buy in at the old cheap price. They capture all that upside.
I see. So they're betting on the house.
Exactly. It's what analysts call a financial hedge.
Mm-hmm.
Disney knows that AI video generation is going to be the future, and it's also going to be incredibly expensive. Compute costs are just going up and up.
Uh-huh.
By owning a piece of the vendor OpenAI, Disney protects itself. If Sora wins, Disney wins. They are treating equity as infrastructure.
That is fascinating. It's not a licensing deal. It's a portfolio play. They are securing their position in the pipe itself.
It aligns their incentives perfectly, but there's a darker side to this strategy. We've talked about the carrot, the investment. Now we have to talk about the stick.
The stick.
UC Today called this the partner or sue strategy.
Sounds aggressive.
It is absolutely ruthless, so look at the timing.
Yeah.
This deal with OpenAI was announced on December 11, 2025. Do you know what happened on December 10th?
I must have missed that.
One day before the announcement, Disney sent a massive, scorching earth cease and desist letter to Google.
To Google. Regarding what?
Regarding Google's AI video tools, Gemini and Veo. Disney accused them of infringing copyrights on a massive scale. They specifically cited AI-generated images of Darth Vader and Homer Simpson that users had created with Google's tools.
Wait, hold on. So they tell Google, you can't do this. It's illegal. Stop right now. While simultaneously signing a deal with OpenAI to do exactly that.
Exactly. It's a walled garden strategy. Disney picks one winner, OpenAI. They legalize the activity for that partner because they have a financial stake in them. Then they use their legal army to sue the competitors, Google, Meta, whoever, to starve them of the data they need to compete.
So they're trying to king-make OpenAI.
Yes. Because if OpenAI becomes the monopoly, Disney's stock warrants become worth a fortune. They're consolidating the market around the partner they have leverage over.
That is. Well, that's grandmaster-level corporate chess.
It really is. It shifts the whole landscape.
But this begs the question. If Disney is holding all the cards, the IP, the legal power, the money, why does OpenAI need them so bad? OpenAI is the darling of Silicon Valley. They have Sora. Why do they need to bow down to the mouse?
We tend to think of OpenAI as invincible, right? But if you look at the data we pulled from the Financial Times, the reality is very different. Before this deal, Sora was actually in trouble.
In trouble how? Everyone talks about it.
Engagement. The numbers were bad. They had about 7 million monthly users, which sounds okay, but only 25% of them were opening the app daily.
That's remarkably low for a social app.
It's terrible. And the average time spent on the app, 13 minutes.
Compare that to TikTok.
TikTok is around 90 minutes.
Wow. So people were coming in, trying it out, and just leaving.
Because of the slop factor.
Right. Let's define that. Slop. It sounds gross.
It's the industry term for that low-quality, uncanny valley morphing, dreamlike AI video. You know the kind I mean. where a hand suddenly has 7 fingers or a face just melts into the background. It's weird, it's often unsettling, and frankly, it gets boring fast.
Yeah, once you've seen one weird morphing video, you've kind of seen them all.
Exactly. There's only so much generic weird AI video you can watch. OpenAI realized that without characters people actually care about, they didn't have a sticky product. They needed to move from slop to cinema.
So they needed Mickey to make the tech interesting enough to keep people around.
Desperately. But there is another factor, and this is the one that really hurts. The cost.
AI is expensive, sure.
Incredibly expensive. Analysts estimate that generating just one 10-second video on Sora costs OpenAI approximately $1.30 in compute power.
$1.30 for 10 seconds.
Yes. Now compare that to a text query on ChatGPT, which costs a fraction of the penny. One analyst gave us this great analogy. Comparing Sora's compute needs to Soleil, ChatGPT is like comparing a fighter jet to a pickup truck.
That is unsustainable. You can't have a free tier if every user is burning $1 every time they hit enter.
Exactly. Bill Peebles, who's the head of Sora, even admitted this. He said the economics were completely unsustainable without a high-value monetization model. They couldn't keep burning cash on generic videos. They needed a partner who could monetize the output.
Enter Disney.
Enter Disney. Disney provides the IP that makes people want to pay and the platform to distribute it. It basically saves OpenAI's business model.
Okay, so we've covered the consumer toy box, we've covered the corporate chess match, but we need to look inside the house. Because while we are all making funny Yoda videos, Disney is using this tech to change how they actually work.
This is the enterprise transformation part of the outline, and honestly, this is where the long-term impact really is. This affects all 225,000 Disney employees.
I read about Disney GPT, which I have to say sounds adorable. Hey, Mickey.
It's designed to be. It's an internal chatbot with a Hey Mickey persona. It literally greets employees with prompts about enchanting adventures.
But what is it actually for? Is it just for fun?
No, it's a security measure. It handles IT tickets, financial analysis, looking up company rosters. But the main reason it exists is as a firewall. Disney was terrified that employees were pasting confidential script details or financial data into the public version of ChatGPT.
Ah, right. Hey, ChatGPT, summarize the script for the new Avengers movie.
Exactly. And then that data trains the public model, and suddenly the plot leaks to the world. Disney GPT keeps all that data inside the company's walls.
Smart. But then there's this other tool, Jarvis.
Yeah.
And for the Marvel fans listening, that acronym hits hard.
Just another rather very intelligent system.
I love that they actually named it that, but this is not just a chatbot, is it?
No, this is a leap forward. Jarvis is what we call agentic AI.
Okay, we need to stop and define that. Agentic. What does that mean to a layperson?
Think of it this way. A chatbot is passive. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. An agent has agency. It can go out and do things. It can execute complex workflows without you holding its hand.
Give me a concrete example of what Jarvis does at Disney right now.
We're talking about post-production tasks, animation rigging, color grading, and something called in-betweening.
In-betweening, that's an animation term.
Right. In traditional animation, the lead artist, the master, draws the keyframe, so the start of the jump and the landing. Then, historically, an army of junior animators would draw all the little frames in between to make the movement smooth. It's tedious, it's labor-intensive, and it's expensive.
And Jarvis does that now.
Jarvis does that instantly. And if you are a Disney executive looking at a $300 million blockbuster budget, this is the holy grail. You are automating those expensive, time-consuming parts of production.
But that brings us to the elephant in the room.
The backlash.
If Jarvis is doing the rigging and the in-betweening, what happens to the army of junior animators who used to do that? That's the entry-level job. That's how you learn the craft.
That is the question. And the reaction has been fierce.
I saw the statement from the Writers Guild of America. They did not pull any punches.
Not at all. They said this deal appears to sanction OpenAI's theft of our work.
Sanction theft. That's heavy language.
It's a legal and a moral argument. The WGA argues that OpenAI built its models, Sora, ChatGPT, by scraping copyrighted data from the internet without permission. By cutting this deal, Disney is essentially saying, it's okay that you took our stuff as long as we get a piece of the company.
Right. It validates the whole model. And going back to the financial structure, those stock warrants.
Yes.
Mashable's tech editor made a really sharp point about this. If Disney isn't getting cash, but is getting stock options, does that trickle down to anyone?
It's highly unlikely. If Disney got a $100 million licensing check, Maybe the unions could argue for a percentage of that as residuals. But how do you share a stock warrant? How do you share the potential future value of OpenAI equity with a voice actor who recorded lines in 1994?
You don't.
You don't. The company gets the equity. The
Yeah.
artists get bypassed.
And it's not just the external unions, right? Business Insider reported on internal friction.
Yes. The employees inside Disney see Jarvis. They see the writing on the wall. When a tool can do your job faster and cheaper, job security becomes a very loose concept.
But Bob Iger, the CEO, seems to have taken a very pragmatic stance on all this.
His argument is the argument of inevitability. He was quoted saying, "If it's going to happen regardless, then we'd rather participate, rather than just watching it happen and essentially being disrupted by it.
If you can't beat him, join him.
Or rather, if you can't beat him, buy a piece of him." It's a defensive move. He's saying this tech wave is coming whether we like it or not. We can either drown or we can build a surfboard.
Even if that surfboard replaces half the crew.
That is the harsh reality of it.
So let's zoom out. We've got this massive deal. We have angry unions. We have excited shareholders. And we have me potentially making a video of Deadpool fighting Wolverine.
If we summarize the gamble, Disney gets a tech hedge and protection for its IP. OpenAI gets a financial lifeline for its incredibly expensive video model. Consumers get a new toy. But the creators face a very, very uncertain future.
It feels like a turning point.
It is. My final observation for this deep dive is that this deal signals the end of the experimentation phase of AI.
Meaning what?
Meaning we're done playing around. We are now in the phase of structural integration. Disney is no longer just a media company. By owning a piece of the algorithm and integrating it into their core workflows, they are effectively becoming a tech company. They aren't just making movies, they're integrating the machinery of AI into their very foundation.
And that leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. We found this really interesting perspective in one of the sources discussing ownership versus attention.
It's a haunting question.
If Disney is providing the imagination, the characters, the stories,
And OpenAI is providing the engine, the Sora model.
who actually owns the story in 2026?
Think about it. If the content is user-generated, created by you, but it lives on Disney servers, and it's generated by Disney's partner,
Are we the fans? Or have we just become the uncompensated workforce keeping the Disney flywheel spinning?
that is something to think about the next time you type a prompt into Sora.
Indeed. That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.